Welcome to Sleepy Tales. My name is Mateus, and before we begin today's story, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below saying, "I'll sleep well tonight." Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive into tonight's tale. Alex had always been a focused and driven college student, determined to make the most of his education and achieve his career goals. He spent long hours studying and working on projects, rarely taking a break from his studies. But one day, he decided to take a break and treat himself to a cup of coffee at a local cafe. That's where he met Sarah. She was working as a barista at the cafe, and Alex was immediately struck by her friendly smile and warm personality. They struck up a conversation, and before long, they were talking and laughing like old friends. Alex was amazed by how easy it was to talk to Sarah, and he knew that he wanted to get to know her better. Over the next few weeks, Alex and Sarah spent more and more time together. They went on walks in the park, explored the city, and shared their passions and dreams. Alex had never felt such a strong connection with anyone before, and he knew that he was falling in love with Sarah. But there was a problem. Alex was set to graduate in a few months, and he had already started applying for jobs in other cities. He knew that he needed to focus on his career if he wanted to succeed, but he didn't want to leave Sarah behind. He struggled with the decision, knowing that he would have to make a choice between his career and his relationship with Sarah. One night, as they were sitting in the park watching the stars, Alex finally told Sarah about his plans. He told her that he had been offered a job in another city and that he was considering taking it. Sarah listened quietly, and when Alex was finished, she looked at him with tears in her eyes. "I don't want you to leave," she said softly. "But I also don't want to hold you back. You need to follow your dreams, Alex. I'll always be here for you, no matter what." Alex felt a lump in his throat as he realized how much Sarah meant to him. He didn't want to leave her, but he knew that he couldn't give up on his dreams. They hugged each other tightly, both knowing that their time together was limited. Over the next few weeks, Alex and Sarah spent as much time together as possible. They went on romantic dates, visited their favorite spots in the city, and shared their hopes and fears for the future. Alex felt more in love with Sarah than ever before, but he also knew that their relationship was coming to an end. Finally, the day came for Alex to leave. Sarah drove him to the airport, and they hugged each other tightly, tears streaming down their faces. Alex promised to call her every day, and they vowed to stay in touch no matter what. As Alex boarded the plane and flew away from the city, he couldn't stop thinking about Sarah. He missed her terribly, and he felt like a part of him was missing without her by his side. But he also knew that he needed to focus on his new job and his career. For the next few months, Alex threw himself into his work, trying to forget about Sarah and move on with his life. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't stop thinking about her. He missed her smile, her laugh, and the way she made him feel. One day, as he was working late at the office, he received a surprise phone call. It was Sarah. She sounded different on the phone, more reserved and distant than he remembered. Alex asked her what was wrong, and she hesitated for a moment before finally telling him. "I'm seeing someone else," she said quietly. "I'm sorry, Alex. I didn't want to hurt you, but I needed to move on." Alex felt like his world had come crashing down around him. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Sarah, the woman he had fallen in love with, was seeing someone else. He tried to hide his pain and sadness, but he knew that Sarah could hear it in his voice. After he hung up the phone, Alex sat at his desk for what felt like hours, trying to process what had just happened. He couldn't understand how Sarah could have moved on so quickly, and he felt like a fool for holding on to the hope that they could be together again. Over the next few days, Alex struggled to come to terms with what had happened. He tried to focus on his work, but his mind kept drifting back to Sarah. He wondered who she was seeing and whether he could ever win her back. Then, one day, he received another phone call from Sarah. This time, she sounded panicked and scared. "Alex, I need your help," she said urgently. "I've gotten involved with some dangerous people, and I don't know what to do. Please, you have to help me." Alex was taken aback by Sarah's words. He didn't understand how she could have gotten involved with dangerous people or what she needed his help with. But he knew that he couldn't ignore her plea for help. He immediately booked a flight back to the city, determined to find out what was going on and help Sarah in any way he could. When he arrived, Sarah met him at the airport. She looked terrified and exhausted, and Alex could tell that she had been through a lot. She told him about a group of people who had been threatening her, demanding that she pay them a large sum of money. Alex was shocked and angry. He couldn't believe that someone would hurt Sarah, the woman he loved. He vowed to help her in any way he could, and they spent the next few days trying to figure out how to get out of the dangerous situation. Eventually, they came up with a plan. Alex used his knowledge and connections to track down the people who had been threatening Sarah, and together they were able to confront them and get them to back off. In the end, Alex and Sarah were able to overcome the dangerous situation and rekindle their relationship. They realized that they were meant to be together, and that nothing could keep them apart. The experience had brought them closer together, and they knew that they would never take each other for granted again. As they sat together in the park watching the stars, Alex felt like the luckiest man in the world. He had found the love of his life, and he knew that he would do anything to protect her and keep her safe. They hugged each other tightly, both grateful for the second chance they had been given. Thank you for listening to this bedtime story, and remember, if you struggle with falling or staying asleep at night, click on the first link in the description for the ultimate solution to your problem. Now, choose one of these two videos and continue on our journey in the world of bedtime stories.